everyday heroes. Heroic ice skaters chop through thick ice to save moose stuck in frozen lake. A video uploaded to YouTube on Wednesday shows the nail-biting moment a group of ice skaters in Sweden risked their lives to rescue a moose that was trapped in a frozen lake. Viktor Johannessen and his partner Sigrid Sjosteen were skating on the lake when they spotted the moose. The couple returned with an axe and tried to rescue the exhausted animal by smashing through the thick layers of ice. The pair took turns pummeling the ice for 30 minutes straight. They eventually managed to clear a path for the moose to get to shore, and the animal clambered back onto land and disappeared into the woods. The video, which was uploaded last Wednesday by Johannessen, has accumulated more than 500,000 views. This is why humans were put on the planet. We all need to be Earth keepers, said one commenter. Another said, faith in humanity restored.
Jag är trött. Yes. Så ja. Skönt.
Touched by this act of kindness? Here's 7 more stories about rescuing animals.
Donkey photographed grinning after being saved from flood. A nasty flood in Killarglen, Ireland almost drowned this poor donkey. But luckily, Mike Fleming answered the call for help. When the donkey became stranded in rising floodwaters, the donkey's owner sounded the alarm for someone to help. Animal Heaven Animal Rescue then began reaching out to anyone with a boat and a brave heart. The animal rescue got rowing club member Mike Fleming on the phone, and without hesitation, he volunteered his rowboat and a team set sail. When they found the lone donkey, wet and probably freezing, the team got out some rope and a lifesaver. Then they laid the flotation device around the donkey's neck and gently pulled it to safety. Once they made it to shore, the rescuers say the donkey expressed a huge relief. Predictably, he couldn't be happier to be alive. And if you look closely, is that a smile? Think it is! Safe and sound, the donkey has since warmed up and been given a name. The lucky guy will forever be known as Mike, after the hero who had the guts and compassion to help save a donkey in need.
Villagers save trapped baby elephant. This is the heartwarming moment a baby elephant is rescued from a well by villagers in India. Locals rallied to help the poor animal after it fell into the watery hole near their village. The elephant's mother kept the village up all night as she cried and trumpeted and refused to leave her calf. The baby elephant was making its way through the forest when it fell into the well. Even though she tried with all her might, the calf's mother just couldn't get her baby out. But the mommy elephant didn't give up on her calf. As other herd members waited nearby, the mother elephant cried and trumpeted for her baby. Fearful locals didn't get any sleep, worried the herd might go on a rampage. But that didn't happen thanks to the actions of some brave villagers. The villagers placed bamboo poles near the well to keep the herd at bay. They then lowered more poles into the hole to keep the baby elephant afloat. Forest officials used an earth mover to make a slope in the well, which allowed the calf to escape. The baby pachyderm then rejoined its mother, and the herd returned to the forest with a full complement of elephants.
Officer rescues deer found drowning in a swimming pool. When it comes to saving a life, be it human or animal, New Jersey State Trooper Dwayne Phillips will do whatever it takes to come to the rescue. Just past noon on October 21st, a worker reportedly caught sight of a deer drowning in a nearby swimming pool. Officer Phillips was called to the residence and found the deer noticeably exhausted and sinking fast. The trooper wasn't professionally trained to handle deer rescues, but when a life was on the line, this good cop sprung into action, pulling the frightened buck to safety. After the deer was able to catch its breath and calm down after the nightmarish fall, it gathered itself and took off back into the woods. A heroic deed is its own reward, but the New Jersey State Police posted the story to Facebook, commending its trooper of the day. The photo has received more than 15,000 likes and 3,100 shares. Imagine how high that number might be if animals could vote.
New Zealand quake leaves cows stranded on a tiny island. A devastating earthquake that struck New Zealand's South Island left 3 cows in a very troublesome predicament. The small east coast town of Kaikoura was hit with a 7.8 magnitude earthquake just after midnight on November 14th. The quake caused only 2 human casualties, but stranded roughly 1,000 tourists, hundreds of residents, and left plenty of frightened animals. The collapsing earth left livestock at the mercy of Mother Nature. With farmland falling around them, 3 cows watched as their relatives slipped away. Within seconds, the 2 adult beef cows and the small calf found themselves 20 feet above ground. With some help, the farmer who owns the property was able to rescue them along with 11 other cows in the group. While waiting to be saved, a news helicopter flew by and spotted the cows on the island. The reporters estimated the island was about 50 meters by 80 meters across. Having been spared death, hopefully the cows will now be able to savor every remaining moment of their lives before inevitably being slaughtered so humans can savor their meat. Meat. Michigan cop saves deer stuck on fence. Harbor Springs officer David Heater responded to a call on Tuesday morning, and this is the sight that awaited him.
You sure are stuck, aren't you?
A fawn was stuck upside down on a fence. Officer Heater said the fawn wasn't moving or kicking, suggesting the poor thing may have been stuck there for a long time.
Don't kick me. You gonna kick me?
Officer Heater approached the fawn and lifted it off the fence, allowing the animal to then run happily away.
Ah, you're a heavy sucker. All right then.
Raccoon freed after getting head stuck in drain. A raccoon found itself in a bit of a tight spot after a too tiny sewer grate got in the way of freedom. Folks at the Veterans Affairs Medical Center in Northampton, Massachusetts, chanced upon the critter on Wednesday and figured he needed a hand. The little guy's head was poking out from a hole in a sewer grate, and he looked absolutely distraught. So an animal control officer was called in to help him get unstuck. She lifted the metal grate out first, and then with some elbow grease and actual grease, finally managed to free him. The furry fellow looked like he was still reeling from shock when the officer wrapped him in a towel, but he was uninjured, just probably a lot oily. But sweet freedom. It seems not even cats can resist the lure of Tex-Mex. 2 Fresno cops found a kitty trapped inside a storm drain on Tuesday morning and wanted to rescue it. But since they couldn't reach the animal, Officer Jimenez and Officer Corona got creative and decided to coax the poor kitten out instead. They attempted to get the animal's attention using a flashlight, noises, and finally scraps from a half-eaten burrito. Tasty. A whole lot of meowing later, and the small feline was rescued from the pipe. The kitten was turned over to animal control, but one of the officers was so enamored he's thinking of adopting it. And you'll never guess the name he's got in mind. It's Burrito.